UFOs, aliens, fallen angels, sons of Cain, or ordinary giants? Just who were the Nephilim? None of the above. Okay.
Nice range.
Nice range, but none of the above. Okay. Who were the Nephilim? They're basically the offspring of the sons of God and the daughters of men. Okay. Okay. That's who they are. Okay. Now, here's what was sort of tipped me off here as to what they were. Now, the sons of God, that can be a reference to say divine counsel and that sort of thing, and that's how Michael Heiser will interpret it. But the daughters of Adam, that's different. That's very different. When you see that term daughters of Adam, and it's not daughters of men as an ish. It's Adam. That's cultic. That's a cultic identification of ancestor worship. So when I saw that daughters of Adam, that sort of keyed off. And what we're talking about here is Genesis 6. Let's bring up the text here. Genesis 6. Once you point this out, you can't unsee it. Now it came about when men began to multiply on the face of the land. So it's men. Verse 1. It's men multiplying on the face of the land. Daughters were born to them. That the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were beautiful. And they took wives for themselves, whomever they chose. Then the Lord said, my spirit shall not strive with man forever. Okay, he's not saying that he's not going to strive with these gods forever. It's man. Because he who is also flesh, nevertheless his day shall be 120 years. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also after. Okay, so they're on before and after. So this is not something that's just a spirit being that's wiped out. They survive. When the sons of men came in to the daughters of Adam, and they bore children to them, these were the mighty men of old. They're not demigods. They're not Elohim in their own right. They're men of old, men of renown. These are men. They're all men. They were men who were multiplying on the face of the earth. They were human women that seemed to have been part of this cult of Adam. Okay? But when you get these cults, one of the things you find with these cults is there's usually some sexual vow, like the naditum. Okay? One of the things, for example, in Mesopotamia that people really feared, they really feared this, which was if a naditum got pregnant and had a child while she was still under her naditum vow. And her naditum vow was basically she was a servant, a priestess to a god like Marduk. And she was not to have conjugal relations while she was in her period of service. So, oh yeah, but it's the Bible exegesis asks, isn't daughters of Adam a contrast to the sons of God? It is in a way, yeah. But here's the thing. A son of God is somebody who's part of the priesthood of God. That's also a cult. But it's a cult of priests to God. Likewise, daughters of Adam is contrastive. Because instead of these women, say, worshiping God, they're worshiping an ancestor. So you have this sort of unholy union. This unholy union between a priesthood that's legitimate and a priestesshood that isn't legitimate. So, you know, that's one of the it's one of those things where you've got a, how do you say this, unequally yoked situation. Okay, but it's an unequally yoked situation that's tearing this culture apart. And the result of this is you've got these men that are the offsprings. The word Nephilim, you look that up and say the Akkadian, and it means fallen. Well, on, wait, they survived? Oh, yeah, because there's still people breaking vows, breaking the Detum vows after the flood. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, there's nobody, where are they now? They don't exist anymore because nobody's taking those vows anymore. There's nobody taking those vows. Because there's nobody taking those vows, you know, yeah. Yeah, so, you know, so it's just the religious situation isn't there anymore for this to happen. The last one that was really sort of famous of these, basically offspring, what we would call a Nephilim, is probably Sargon of Akkad. He's probably the last major one. He was the offspring of a Nefilim priestess that had broken her vow, and he ends up destroying 2 kingdoms. Okay. Yeah, charming. Yeah, so, yeah, so they don't exist anymore because those religious practices don't exist anymore. Okay, so I think that covers the tour of the Nephilim. So yeah, I wouldn't, they're not UFOs, they're not sons of Cain, they're nothing like as fabulous as all that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we love the stories. The Fallen Angel sounds really good. Yeah. But even, for example, like when they talk about this, I mean, where you see Nephilim sometimes mentioned is, for example, in, I think it's Deuteronomy. You know, let me see if I can find that reference. Numbers, sorry. Numbers 13:13. You know, this is one of those, this is very interesting because I know Heiser refers to this as Nephilim still living in the land. And what's really interesting about this is this is a what's it called now? A fictitious report. Okay, it's a bad report, and the text even says it. All right, so it's like it's an unreliable report. So the spies go into the land, and they come back and they give the Israelites a bad report in Numbers 13, 32, and 33. And it says here in the text, so they gave out to the sons of Israel a bad report. Now, the term here bad is not just evil. It's defamatory. It's defamation. Okay? It's a defamatory report. It's a report that isn't true. That's what defamation is. Defamation is saying something that isn't true. It's an unfavorable report that isn't true. So the text even tells you it's a defamatory report. But for some reason, Heiser just skips over that. I don't understand why. So they give a defamatory report of the land which they had spied out, saying, quote, so the author is telling you that this is a defamatory report. Okay, and somehow, just okay. You didn't read that bit? Okay. So it goes, the land is full, the land through which we have gone in spying it out is a land that devours its inhabitants. Ooh, it eats you. The land just rises up and chumps you. Okay, maybe after seeing what happened to Korra, you might want to think about that, but okay. Could be. But it's a land that devours its inhabitants. And all the people whom we saw in it are men of size. It's implied here. It's just size. Also, we saw Nephilim. Sons of Anak are part of a Nephilim. That's a scribal gloss, by the way. So we also saw Nephilim. Yeah, sure you did, buddy. Just like you saw the land just open up and eat people. Jump, jump, jump. And we became like grasshoppers. Like grasshoppers in their sight. So we were in their sight. Yeah, they're laying it on thick. Okay. Really, really thick here. But this is something, this is again the virtuosity of the author here in truly reporting what was said. Okay? You know, and all you have to do is read the text. It's a defamatory report. You can't rely on this. But this is a true account of what was said. It's a land that eats you. You don't eat from the land eats you. And all the people we saw are size. We saw Nephilim. Sure you did. And we were like, itty bitty grasshoppers. And of course, this causes problems. Lots and lots of them. So, you know, you gotta take this stuff in its context. Read the passage. Might help sometimes. Okay, so let's go on to the next super chat here. So they're not giants. They're not giants. Maybe, but they were laying it on thick. Come on. It's a Nephilim! We're grasshoppers! Yeah, that's laying it on thick.